CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus.
Every single holiday, there's been a surge starting about 2 weeks later in cases and then hospitalizations and then death. Now with the UK variant and the South African variant, which are much more infectious, I hope people don't get together for the Super Bowl or the ramifications will be significant.
The FDA could greenlight Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine in about 3 weeks. Jody Guest is vice chair of the Department of Epidemiology at Emory University.
We have a lot of people waiting for vaccine, and we need more all the time. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a really great vaccine. The data is exciting. We need this vaccine as quickly as possible.
A new study is underway to determine how the virus affects the brain. CBS's Jim Krasula has more.
Doctors are finding that coronavirus can have profound long-term effects on the brain.
Things like memory loss, not being able to come up with the right words anymore, things that used to be pretty simple now is a major difficulty.
University of South Carolina professor Dr. Julius Fridrickson says some who've had COVID-19 aren't able to go back to work because of memory loss.
It really feels like winter in parts of the country. CBS's Adriana Diaz.
The so-called polar vortex is dropping temperatures across much of the country. It's harshest in the Midwest. In Duluth, Minnesota, the wind chill will make it feel like 39 below. Here in Chicago, it'll feel like 22 below. More heavy snow is expected in the Northeast, where many are still digging out from last week's big storm.
Former President Trump's second Senate impeachment trial begins Tuesday. Longtime Republican and chairman of the board of the Republican Accountability Project, Bill Kristol, says he hopes some GOP senators will vote to convict him.
If elected officials are unwilling to tell the truth to their voters, even if it's sometimes a difficult truth, very hard to make progress. That's why I hope more than a handful of Republican senators vote to convict. That would be a moment where maybe there would be the beginning of a break. But so far, we haven't seen it.
In Myanmar, thousands again took to the streets after the military staged a coup last week. This is CBS News.
You can listen to CBS News Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on radio.com or the radio.com app. Download it today. Have you heard? A secret hoard of 1888 Morgan silver dollars has been found. These gorgeous 1888 O Morgans are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. And less than 500 of these coins are available. Coin experts are calling the Great Southern Treasury Hoard an incredible opportunity. Just call GovMint at 1-800-719-9079, and you are guaranteed a mint-condition 1888 Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O Mint mark of the New Orleans Mint. These 132-year-old coins were found in sealed bags that have been untouched since 1888. That makes these unopened bags of Morgan silver dollars extremely rare. To learn more, call 1-800-719-9079. Call now, and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $10 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-719-9079 now to secure your 1888 O Morgan silver dollar coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-719-9079.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL, AM, FM, and .com.
It'll be a chilly Sunday. We only get up into the upper 50s, starting with clouds and some sunshine tries to come out during the afternoon. Tonight will be chilly. We'll see the upper 30s on the North Shore and mid-40s here on the South Shore.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Peyton Malone. 4 bars paid the ultimate price for violating COVID-19 restrictions. The Caddy Corner, Red Eye, TJ Quills, and the District were all shuttered. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta updates us on those restrictions going into effect this coming weekend.
As for those newly announced temporary rules that are set to go into place in New Orleans on Friday, through Mardi Gras, all bars in the city will have to shut down, including those with food permits. Also, there will be no liquor sales in the French Quarter. Selling to-go drinks will be prohibited. And from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m., all of Bourbon, Decatur, and Frenchman streets will be closed to pedestrians and vehicles. The Claiborne Underpass will also be fenced off.
2 people are dead after a pair of Saturday shootings. WWL TV's Paul Dudley brings us up to date.
2 separate shootings. The latest happened in St. Roch around 3 p.m. on Marigny Street, just off of St. Claude Avenue. A witness told us a man was shot while in a car and then pushed him out of in front of a home. Police have not confirmed that account. The man later died at the hospital. Right now, no other details have been released. Meantime, police are investigating the murder of a woman near the Lakefront Airport. It happened around 9:30 yesterday morning near the intersection of Wales and Schubert Streets. The NOPD says the victim.
Okay, we have two holding.
If you know anything,
It's who's that?
Quinn and Marrero.
Quinn.
Question about fencing.
Okay.
And we have Patrick and Harahan, who has a construction contract question.
Okay.
Ingram, gonna pull up right at the top for three. Good! Good! That's an all-star bucket right there. And that's what that is. Brandon Ingram gets the finish line and says, you know what? This could possibly be a dagger. I got one here.
Audio courtesy of the Pelicans Radio Network. Brandon Ingram scored 27 points, second only to Zion Williamson's 29, to help tame the Grizzlies 118-109 in the Smoothie King Center. Now at 10 and 12, the Pels have won 5 of their last 7 and 3 straight. Next up, they'll entertain the Houston Rockets Tuesday night. We'll put a button on the NFL season today in Tampa as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers square off with the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. It's yours on WWL at 5:30. We'll join Westwood One's pregame coverage at 1 o'clock. And once again, the Pro Football Hall of Fame's incoming class will have a distinctly Louisiana flavor. NOLA native Peyton Manning, who prepped at Isidore Newman before moving on to the University of Tennessee and later the NFL as the #1 overall pick of the 1998 draft, will enter the Hall in his first year of eligibility. And quarterbacked both the Indianapolis Colts and Denver Broncos to Super Bowl victories and won 5 league MVPs. Former LSU standout Alan Faneca also made the cut this year. Faneca is a former All-Pro guard who earned a Super Bowl ring with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm Mark Menard, WWL Sports.
A cool Sunday ahead with a little bit of a breeze. High temperatures get to in the upper 50s. Mostly cloudy skies in the morning, turn to partly cloudy skies by the afternoon. As we head into tonight, chilly but no freeze. Expected mid to upper 30s on the North Shore. South Shore will see the mid 40s. Monday afternoon, we warm up. High temperatures into the upper 60s with mostly cloudy skies. Tuesday still in the 70s. We'll see mostly cloudy skies, but a few showers are possible. Also a few showers possible on Wednesday in the upper 70s. And then we stay in the 70s on Thursday with showers before big cold front arrives, and we're colder Friday and Saturday. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Dave Malone.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
The following is a paid program. The views and advice expressed are not that of WWL or Intercom Louisiana LLC. Assessing a person's legal matter often requires extensive interviews, review of contracts and documents, and research of the current state of the law on the issues involved. As a result, the information provided by the attorneys and guests of All Things Legal is given for informational purposes only. It is not to be construed as legal, tax, investment, or other professional advice. Communications with the attorneys on this program, whether verbal or digital, do not create an attorney-client relationship. From WWL, the news, talk, and sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Paid for by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Call or text 504-260-1870 or join us anytime, anywhere on the radio.com app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're on till 10 o'clock. You can also call us our law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304, or North Shore 985-624-9697. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to, is that Patrick? Oh, Quinn. Let's go to Quinn. Huh? Quinn?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Quinn, you're in All Things Legal. What do you have for us?
I have a question about my backyard fence.
All right.
40 some odd years ago when we moved here, we put a fence up in the backyard. And I paid for the whole thing. And I didn't ask the neighbors to contribute or anything. I just did it. And the guy put 2 inches inside our property, just so it was ours. I guess. I don't know. That's what he did. But I've had some fences since then, replaced them. Well, recently, it was getting old, and in the back, one side was fine, but the other side was new. The other sides, they kind of fell down in the hurricane. They really need to be replaced. So I finally found somebody to do it after the hurricane, and I got a price. And I want to ask my neighbors about putting in half for their part. My neighbor on the side said, sure, he'll be happy to do it. The ones in the back, I haven't talked to yet, but I'm going to. I wonder what kind of rights I have, what kind of rights they have to
relationships with your neighbors. You know, you can ask them to split the cost of the fence. It's a wooden fence, I'm assuming.
It is. It is. Yes.
Yeah. So you know, quite often, you know, you've got kind of good side and the not so good side of a wooden fence where you've got the flat boards on one side and you've got all the poles and the stringers on the other side. So they may not be interested in splitting it with you depending on, you know, where the strings are, the poles, etc. So, you know, that's your best and first option. Try to be a good neighbor. See if, you know, even if they'll pay, you know, 25% of it or a third of it or something, it still will be a nicer looking fence than probably what they have now. But if they're not interested in doing that,
it's going down now. I don't know if people in the back care, but you know, obviously I care, right?
Right. And so if it's your fence, you know, it's on your property, then replace it. You know, I mean, ideally, if they'll help you split it, that would be great. But if it's on your property, they have really no rights to it, no, you know, no ownership of it. So, you know, if they
wanted to grow plants on it or something on their side, I could restrict from doing that if they didn't pay.
I mean, it's like vines or something, you know. I mean, because it will kind of speed up the deterioration of the fence as those vines grow into it. But, you know, again, I mean, I think the best thing to try to do is be a good neighbor and hopefully they'll want to kick in something for a nice new fence. You know, it's going to depend on their financial situation and everything else, right?
Look, if they don't want to help, there's nothing I can do about it legally, right?
No, it's your fence on your property.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not sure, but then okay, well, thank you a whole lot. I appreciate it. Okay. All right.
All right. Thanks for the call, Glenn. Let's go to Patrick's got a question. Hey, Patrick, you and all things legal, Sunseri and Nicaud.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen, and I want to thank you for the service you provide to the community. Greatly appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Quick question. Should be pretty simple. I have a lot in Harahan that I was selling. I was approached by a couple that wanted to buy it. They used the Louisiana residential agreement to buy and sell standard contract. They brought me the contract with no predications, all cash sale, no appraisals needed, no contingencies. Gave me the money, and 2 days later, I told them as per the contract, I'd hold the check until they had a title company ready. 2 days later, they backed out of the deal and stopped payment on the check. Okay? So my question is, go ahead. Now my question is, according to the contract, I'm due the default money because there was no predications, and I wanted to ask your opinion on that. It also says I can sue for 10 times the 10% of the sales price. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
That's correct. So the contract is the law between the parties. And quite often this happens, and we get called all the time because someone backed out of a contract, and we have to determine whether or not there was some provision of the contract that would allow them to do so. But assuming that what you're saying is correct, and there is no predication or anything else, then you certainly would have the right to go after them for 10%. There's also a provision in there, probably if it's a standard contract, for what is called specific performance, where you can actually sue them to buy the lot and force them to buy it. And then, you know, and there's also an attorney's fee provision in there. So the contract will give you various options as to your remedies, but there's usually an attorney's fee provision in there, a 10% of the contract price. And so, you know, you can sue them for that, put the lot back on the market. I do know there's a lot of folks moving to Jefferson Parish from Orleans Parish. And so, you know, Jefferson Parish property is pretty hot right now.
Oh, yes.
That was the case.
I was wondering, I didn't think they had any green space left in Jefferson Parish, but apparently you have one of them, one of the few.
And I actually took down the signs and canceled 2 or 3 other people that were in line to buy the deal. And then they called days later
later and said they were canceling, and I said, well, I guess you're going to lose your money. And they said, no, we're not going to lose our money because we have due diligence, but there's nothing in the clause that says due diligence.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Very good, but it's a law between the parties. So,
okay. Would you guys entertain working with me on this?
Give Albert a call at 837-1304. 837-1304.
Very good, guys. I appreciate your help. Have a great day.
All right, thanks, my man. All right, well, I tell you what, let's go to early break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be back in a few minutes.
This year, we've seen a whirlwind of change and, unfortunately, new strains of coronavirus. This is Will Norman. Crisis is a scary thing.
Okay, gentlemen, the board is clear so far. No calls.
That's where we come in, to keep you informed about the latest on COVID-19 and available vaccines, how to get financial help for your business or family, to have honest conversations about challenges in our community and country. Join me and let's keep it real weekdays 10 to 1 on WWL.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, the sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel was created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Klein and Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
Let NOLA Protection improve the security of your business by keeping your property, customers, and employees safe. NOLA Protection is the local choice for security personnel and equipment. Give them a call at 504-577-2323 or on the web at nolaprotection.com.
We're letting the good times roll at Diamonds Direct with one incredible offer. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything, just in time for Valentine's. You heard right. Now through Valentine's, you can pick any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, from diamond earrings to a designer engagement ring, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest charges. It's a great time to be in the Big Easy, and everybody looks better with some new bling. How about a $6,000 pair of diamond stud or diamond hoop earrings for just $100 a month? Or maybe plan for that Mardi Gras proposal with a $12,000 Takori engagement ring, maybe with a yellow diamond for just $200 a month. Celebrate Mardi Gras, celebrate Valentine's, celebrate all that makes New Orleans special, and mostly celebrate your love with something that will last a lifetime. Now through Valentine's Day, only at Diamonds Direct. Get 5 years, 0 interest financing, nothing down, nothing held back. Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, and I have a feeling that retirement is on your mind. You're wondering if you've saved enough or whether your money is in the right places. You're wondering, when will you be able to retire, or will you be able to stay retired? And is your money sufficient so you can live in comfort and financial security for the rest of your life? You're wondering all this, but you really don't have to just wonder. You can resolve all these questions in your effort to enjoy a retirement that's everything you want it to be. And we can help. At Edelman Financial Engines, our clients are predominantly concerned about retirement, your financial security for your spouse, for your aging parents, for your children. And we can help you just like we've helped thousands of folks just like you for more than 30 years. So call us at Edelman Financial Engines at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. And don't wonder about your retirement, because we're here to help you. That's 888-PLAN-RIC.
Doing your best work from home is not easy when you don't have the right space.
Going live after the spot, still rolling on the phone.
Solution that works for you, your family, and your life. Whether it's a small space, shared space, multifunctional space, or kids space, our professional design consultants will help you get organized and make your space one that works better for you. Now you can love where you live and work. Schedule your free in-home or virtual design consultation today at californiaclosets.com.
It's WWL and all things legal with Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Join us on the WWL Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Give us a call, 260-1870. Albert, looking at more of these Super Bowl bets. Couple of them. Okay, here's one for the prop bet. The over-under for Tyreek Hill for the longest reception is 27 yards. And that's an even bet. $11 to win 10. Over-under. That's also, here's one. Will there be a successful fourth down conversion? Yes, you have to bet $36 to win 10. No, you bet $10 to win 30. So, will Patrick Mahomes throw an interception? That's basically even, 50-50. I would say yes. I would bet on it. I'd bet a yes on that one. Here's one.
Although we'll tell you, Tampa Bay intercepted him 2 or 3 times the last time they played.
Yeah.
Somebody kind of.
Here's one more. Will the game go into overtime? If you bet $10, you can win $57. If they do, you bet $10 win $57. If they do, don't, you'd have to bet $85 to win 10. So that's pretty steep. That's pretty steep. And then, but that's
Yeah. So real quick, Doug, I got a text from my brother.
Yes. Mike.
And yeah, Mike. He sent me the cover of the New Orleans Advocate. It looks like it's today's paper. Sunday edition. And it says 1979, last time New Orleans carnival parades were canceled. And on the cover, there's a picture of a number of NOPD officers on strike and holding up their signs that they're on strike for better pay, better conditions, all the things that, police officers around the country
deserve,
demand and are entitled to, really. And then there's my other brother, who's now deceased, picture of him on he's in that photograph on the left-hand side as well. So he was one of the, I think he was one of the Pano, I don't want to say bodyguards, but like their detail duty for the Pano representatives of Police Association in New Orleans. And he was not a big fan of Dutch Morial, but and vice versa. But because Dutch was like just go back to work and like, well, they need to pay us more. So that was kind of a big fight. So the police went on strike, and I remember that. That's when Jefferson Parish kind of spiked a little bit in terms of Mardi Gras, and this was before a lot of the Super Crews were really big. And that kind of swung things back to the New Orleans area. But I remember that was kind of the heyday of Jefferson Parish parades in '79. In fact, that's the year I graduated from high school.
That was 41 years ago. That was the last time we didn't. I think that was the last time we didn't have Mardi Gras, and sort of an interesting time right now. One thing I do say is I wish the city in general would be as tenacious about crime as they were about shutting down bars during Mardi Gras. They seem all over that and sort of ho-hum about children getting murdered and having a totally unsafe city, but it is what it is. But yes, what's that?
I was just responding to a 911 call.
Oh, that's
show up and report.
Well, that's well, the priority right now is not with safety. It's other things that and it's not business, that's for sure too. Making viability of businesses. In fact, I had a very interesting article in the Advocate this week that we're back to the drain of people leaving Louisiana. Now we're the South. We got great weather. We got a great cultural economy. and we're losing people in Louisiana. And, nobody's, people don't appear to be concerned with that. Now, we had that problem years and years ago, and they had Patrick Taylor, who came up with TOPS. And the purpose of TOPS was to keep our best and brightest in the state. If they went to LSU, ULL, somewhere in Louisiana, there's a good chance they may stay, but they're not. There's just conditions aren't good to own a business. In fact, and this is a fact. I mean, we're business attorneys, and I'm often consulted saying, "Hey, look, I'm looking to expand. I'm looking to grow my business. Should I come to New Orleans?" Or the discussion is whether you should come to New Orleans. You say no. It's absolutely not. You don't know if the water's going to drain. You don't have city services. You have a very unfriendly climate for business. In fact, unfriendly, hostile to business, and things just don't work. And so businessmen, they'll go across the I-12 corridor. They'll go, on the North Shore. They'll go. Maybe they might go to between Baton Rouge and in New Orleans in that corridor, but they're not coming to New Orleans. Or Jefferson Parish, absolutely. Jefferson Parish is packed to the gills. There's no green space. Yeah.
Hard Parish, a lot of places that, I never did understand that. It's the proof's in the pudding when, all of these oil companies bailed out of New Orleans. I mean, there was one Shell Square, but, Shell's really not in that building anymore. They're all in Houston. They're all in a better, more friendly business climate, where things work, where the city works, the city services work, and the city's more concerned about making the infrastructure and the city services work than, politics and controlling people with this coronavirus thing.
We had Jerome on the phone question about
that whole deal.
Yeah.
People dying from it, I get it, and those are the people that need to be protected. Those are the people that need to stay home. Those are the people, we know who they are. We know, 99% of, certain as to who the folks are that are going to be most impacted by it. So let's protect them. Let's get them vaccinated. Let's do what we can to save people's lives. But shutting down the entire economy, and so what if it's an uptick? Let's look at, people getting the flu and dying from it. People are getting pneumonia and dying from it. So,
the extreme hostility to business in the city of New Orleans is literally killing it. And it is literally dying a slow death. And there's a lot of businesses who we represent who threw in the towel. They're saying this is just too much to overcome. And, it's just, well, you got 9 months, you got an election. If you want more of the same, just vote the same. But, there you go. All right, let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Jerome's got a question regarding lien. This is special for Albert. Hey, Jerome, you on All Things Legal.
Good morning. First of all, I do want to respond to what you all were just piggybacking off of with the city. New Orleans is the absolute worst when it comes to permitting and any sort of business like that. I've never seen a worse city or worse municipality ever, rather.
And
so that's that.
Well, Jerome, you're a contractor. You build things. You employ people. You build things. You make it better. And when you can't get a simple permit done in an efficient manner, it's just emblematic of the entire problem. But what you got, Jerome?
Well, anyway, they're the worst, my friend. My question was, just out of curiosity, can you, and if you can, how do you, can you just put a lien on someone's property at any time? And if you can, how do you? And that's just a general question.
Albert, it's up your alley.
I'm assuming you're talking about a construction lien, right? Under the Private Works Act, correct?
Perhaps, yes.
Well, it has to be that or a judgment. There are different types of liens that you put on property, right? So if you're a contractor and you're asking about how to put a construction lien for labor and materials or labor or materials on someone's home, then no, you can't just do it at any time. You have to either do it during the construction process or do it, depending on whether contract is filed or not, do it within 60 days of what is called substantial completion of work, where the owner can use the property and if they move into it, take possession of it. So you can do it within that period of time. They're very technical. I'll be honest with you. I would not recommend that people do it on their own. It's not an expensive process, but you need a property description. You need to describe the materials and the labor that was performed. You need to have the owners and the contractor, if you're a subcontractor, you have to have their name and address listed. It's very technical as to how it's done, and if it's not done properly, the owner or even a contractor, if you're a subcontractor, the contractor can demand that it be removed, and if you don't remove it in 10 days, then they can file suit against you to have it removed and get attorney's fees against you. So it's worth going to see somebody to make sure you got it right. That's pretty much. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, but other types of liens that are not construction liens, let's say you go to court, you get a judgment against the party, then you can record that judgment at any time up to 10 years from the date of the judgment. So that doesn't really have a time limitation on it. But obviously you want to do it the sooner the better, because that protects your judgment in the event that property is sold or transferred or mortgaged or whatever it may be. They're going to have to come to the table and deal with it.
Okay, so outside of what you just described, so are you saying that anyone can't just place a lien on someone's property? Because I was under the impression that you could place a lien on someone's property at any time for basically whatever reason. I mean, for any reason.
No. There's got to be some sort of, there's got to be some purpose, right? And liens are very strictly construed against the person filing the lien because we don't want to tie up property. We don't want to tie up commerce. So that's why it's so technical and all the technicalities have to be followed. So the answer to that question is no. You can't just do it for any reason. Yeah. And can anybody file suit against anybody for any reason? Sure. Is it valid? No. Could it be subject to some sort of dismissal or whatever case? Sure. So, yeah, technically, yeah, you can file it, but it would likely be improper if it's not done timely and it's not done in accordance with the strict provisions of the Private Works Act. Okay. No problem. All right.
Yeah. I said, Albert, I want to ducktail on that a little bit. When do you have to, if you're a contractor, you got to file a notice of contract in order to proceed? If you could explain. Yeah. If you.
Notice of contract.
Yeah.
Will describe the immovable, right? So you're going to have that property description, the address of the owner, the address of the contractor, and you don't have to put the price, but you just have to basically say that there's a contract between the parties for repair of the immovable located at square one lot such and such, right? Located in this parish, etc. What that does is that puts people on notice that there is a contract between you and the owner. So any subcontractors, any material men, any of those types of people will then have that opportunity to bring a claim. And they may have to file a claim for certain time periods to do so, depending on what capacity you are.
Now, if a contractor doesn't file that notice of contract, they can lose their rights, their liens right? Is that correct? If you could explain that.
They just changed the law.
Okay.
About a year ago, and it used to be $25,000, but there was a contract that exceeded $25,000. You had to do that. Now it's $100,000. So now it's really more along the lines of a new home. Unless you're doing a really extensive renovation, it's more along the lines of a new home. And so they want a notice of contract. That way, you're delivering materials, etc. and then it sets forth the different time frames and guidelines, depending on whether or not you do file a notice of contract or whether you don't. And if you're the general contractor, if you don't file a notice of contract and your contract exceeds $100,000, then you don't have those rights.
Now, also too, a lot of contractors who try to file their own liens, often if there's a technical non-compliance in the lien's no good.
That's correct. Yeah, that's basically what we
Yeah,
explained to
right.
Jerome, that, you know, you can do it, but you're kind of taking a chance. You know, you really want to make sure that it's done correctly. And what it does is, especially if there's financing involved with a bank or whatever, it's going to they're going to make sure that lien has been removed or paid for or satisfied before they turn that into permanent financing from the construction financing. So you want to make sure that it's done correctly and it can't be pumped. Now, you know, as a general contractor, you will still have a cause of action against the homeowner for breach of contract, but it's just not secured by the lien. And, you know, you kind of lose that hammer a little bit in your favor by having that lien or not having a lien, where the bank's going to tell them, hey, look, you know, unless you want to keep paying interest and everything else on this loan, or even a higher interest as a penalty for not closing within a certain period of time, then you've got to go ahead and satisfy that lien and get it resolved. And so now the owner is more inclined to come to the table and make sure that, you know, you work it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good explanation on liens. Let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
This year, I hope we all recognize one truth, that we're all Americans, and we basically want the same things. We want COVID-19 to end. We want to be safe in our communities. We want to thrive economically. But those truths can be reality only if we recognize what we have in common and stop dwelling on our differences. Stop seeing each other as the enemy. I pledge to do this. Do you? I'm Scoot. Let's try to walk a mile in each other's shoes. Weekday afternoons, 1 to 4 on WWL.
What do you get when you talk to a Dell Technologies advisor? You get someone who understands there's an art to listening, who's able to hear more than what's being said, and can provide tailored small business solutions that make you feel truly heard.
I understand. Let's get started.
For advice on everything from laptops to the cloud and solutions powered by Intel vPro platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
You heard that safe drivers get rewarded with Snapshot from Progressive, so you went online to check it out. But then you saw an ad for a vintage baseball cap, and now you find yourself checking the stats of that team's second baseman in '97, wondering why his stolen base total dropped after his rookie season. Wonder how much his rookie card is worth. Yes, they said it was easy to save money with Snapshot from Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents. Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Klein and Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
We're letting the good times roll at Diamonds Direct with one incredible offer. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything, just in time for Valentine's. You heard right.
Board's
Now
clear,
for
huh?
Valentine's, you can pick any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, from diamond earrings to a designer engagement ring, and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest charges. It's a great time to be in the Big Easy, and everybody looks better with some new bling. How about a $6,000 pair of diamond stud or diamond hoop earrings for just $100 a month? Or maybe plan for that Mardi Gras proposal with a $12,000 Takori engagement ring, maybe with a yellow diamond for just $200 a month. Celebrate Mardi Gras, celebrate Valentine's, celebrate all that makes New Orleans special, and mostly celebrate your love with something that will last a lifetime. Now through Valentine's Day, only at Diamonds Direct. Get 5 years, 0 interest financing, nothing down, nothing held back. Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
So, you upgraded to the elevated ride of the 2021 Toyota Highlander.
New Highlander, Mr. D?
Yeah, figured it was time for something nicer, more refined.
look at this thing. I mean, that moonroof is pretty sweet.
It's extremely stylish.
And that's not all. As you can see, it has leather seats, dual zone climate control,
and comes with all the latest tech.
And Android Auto. Check out this 12.3-inch touchscreen. Great for navigation, hands-free communication, music.
Awesome.
The Highlander also has loads of space and even a third-row seat.
Did I see 5 USB ports?
You sure did, buddy.
Perfect place for your daughter's new boyfriend.
This is so embarrassing.
Elevate every ride in the new 2021 Highlander.
Get $1,500 customer cash. Our qualified lessees can lease a new 2021 Highlander L for only $279 a month for 36 months, or $29.99 due at signing. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability. Visit buyatoyota.com for details. Offers available in select states and 3/1/21.
This is Bobby Abear from my friends at Clearwater Pools and Spas, your staycation headquarters. Let us make your backyard a great family vacation spot for the summer. They're the trusted leader in water treatment and offer the largest selection in above-ground pools, spas, and hot tubs, including hot spring spas. They're the only factory authorized and trained in pristine blue and oxygen sanitizing systems. Visit cwnola.com or one of our locations in Covington, Metairie, Baton Rouge, and Pearl, Mississippi. Clearwater Pools and Spas.
Plan the retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to Your Money Matters Saturday mornings at 7 here on WWL, the news, talk, and sports powerhouse of the Gulf South.
Brent Holly here. Premium Windows. Professionally measured, professionally installed. ReliefWindows.com.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French?
Okay, this is the last spot, and we have no one on the phone.
Definitely.
Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Back to WWL and all things legal with attorneys Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Connect on the WWL Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Albert, we're talking a little bit about liens and, Jerome's caller, Jerome's regular caller. And, we were talking a little bit about, a lot of people in this COVID era, since they're not traveling, and putting more money into their homes, doing renovations, pools, and that sort of thing. Tell me, I want to ask you about this. If you have a contractor and he buys supplies and you pay the contractor for supplies, but the supplier isn't paid, the supplier could still file a lien against your residence if you're doing some type of renovation. How do you, if you're a homeowner, make sure that that doesn't happen?
Well, yeah, the supplier can file the lien. The supplier has a little bit more of a burden. They have to give you a 10-day notice before they file the lien that they hadn't been paid. And so it's a little bit more burdensome for a supplier. But regardless, yeah, they do have the right to do that. So there is something called a lien waiver and even conditional lien waivers that are done throughout the process of the renovation or the construction. A lien waiver, basically what you'll do is say, listen, I have paid all of my subs, and here is a statement from each one of the subs up to this point that upon payment of X amount, they have been paid in full. And so the next time they ask for a draw, you have, those checks, you're going to have to see from that subcontract or their general contractor to make sure that the subs were paid in that previous payment application that they're making, or the premium draw schedule that they had, and make sure they were paid. And that way, you don't have any surprises at the end of the day or at the end of the job where, the window contractor comes along and says, hey, look, I never got paid for these windows. What's the deal? So when he sends you that invoice and says, look, okay, we did this, and all of the materials for everything that's been incorporated into the work have been paid for. Well, prove it. Get your window person to sign it. Get your framing or lumber yard to sign a lien affidavit. Okay, I'm sorry, an affidavit confirming that they have been paid, and sign a lien waiver to show that they have been paid for their services up to date. So that definitely helps protect you. You want to make sure that's in your construction contract.
And also too, if you
requirements to do that, but they get paid and they're not entitled to get paid.
and also too, if you're a contractor, what is the limits that you have to have a residential contractor do renovation work? What type of licenses do they have, and what's the limits as far as the value of the job?
Well, you have two different types of. You got a number of types of licenses with the state contractors board, for state board for contractors. But basically, there are two types of licenses. One is a certificate. One is a residential building contractor license, and anything over $50,000, you have to have that license. For a commercial contractor, anything over, I think it's $100,000, you have to have that license. And then anything up to $75,000.
We have Phil coming to.
You must have a home
Something about extra testimony.
home improvement certificate. Believe it or not, it's kind of backwards, but you would think that because you're a commercial contractor, you would have greater responsibilities. You don't have to take the test to be a commercial contractor. There's no requirement that you have insurance or all that. I guess the state presumes that when you are building a commercial job, the owner is going to be sophisticated enough to make sure that you do have all of these, these insurance, proper insurance, et cetera. But for the home improvement certificate, you have to post a bond of $10,000. You have to. There's certain things you can and can't do. A lot of this started with the roofing business after Katrina, and roofers were kind of ripping people off, and so now have an insurance claim and say, look, we'll do the work for whatever the insurance claim is. There's certain provisions of language in the administrative rules for the board of contractors that has to be in your contract. So you can't just go out there and be the handyman and do the work. You should really get the home improvement license, or of course, the residential building contractor's license.
All right, let's squeeze in Phil before the next break. Got a minute or two. Phil, you on All Things Legal. What you got for us?
How y'all doing this morning?
Good. What's happening, brother?
All right, look, man. Gotta ask y'all these questions. I live in a condo association. I got a condo association. We went to small claims court. The woman said, the manager said, I didn't pay 7 months of homeowners dues. Went to the bank, got the checks, proved that they were cash, and never got credit for them. Small claims court was a joke. Then about a month later, the same people, the law for the same people, tell me they want to have another court date in a different court a court in Covington. If I want to bring more evidence, since I filled out a package to defend myself, and I sent it into the court. Well, since then, they're still harassing me over stuff that they can't prove. What is that called? Can I bring more evidence to this court case?
Well, okay. You went to the small claims court. What did the judge say? What was the ruling?
She gave me no credit for the money I paid, and she says I owe $450.
All right. And
That's over with. Now I got a new court case in Covington Court.
in just a piece of the regular state court.
There's a regular state court for the same county parish.
Okay. And what are they requesting? An injunction for what?
No. They brought up the same stuff that was brought up in small claims court.
Well, yeah. Phil, we got to go to a break. Phil, we got to go to a break. I think there's probably have to look at it a little more detailed as far as what they're exactly asking for. You give us a call at 837-1304, and we can maybe help you because I'm sure there's a little more to the story than that. All right, thanks for the call. Let's go to a final break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, and I have a feeling that retirement is on your mind. You're wondering if you've saved enough.
How much we're going to have when we get back?
In the right places. You're wondering when will you be able to
Hey,
retire,
Doug?
or will you be able to stay retired?
Hey, Doug?
Is your money sufficient so you can live in comfort?
I'm here.
Security for the rest of your life?
How much time are we going to have on when we come
You
back?
really don't have to just wonder.
Looks like we're going to have about 3.5.
Gotcha. All right, thanks.
Everything you want it to be.
Resume with
Financial engines
Bill or not?
predominantly concerned about
Yeah, we're done.
retirement.
We're done.
For financial
I
security.
can't.
Okay, good enough.
It's more.
Security for your spouse, for your aging parents, for your children. And we can help you just like we've helped thousands of folks just like you for more than 30 years. So call us at Edelman Financial Engines at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com. And don't wonder about your retirement because we're here to help you. That's 888-PLAN-RIC.
I'm listening daily. You are not alone. During these challenging times, listening is fundamental to promoting understanding and healing. Here's licensed therapist Dr. Joshua Claypoe on the importance of self-care.
Self-care is paying attention to things like joy and laughter, but also self-care is things like bodily functioning, hydrating, making sure you're moving and you're exercising and your nutrition is good. I mean, those things are self-care too. And what I'm seeing right now, not only are people getting rid of joy and laughter in their life, they're going the next step down. They're not even taking care of their bodies and their minds at a basic level. So self-care means putting your body and your mind first, making sure that it is working as well as possible. They are working as well as possible, and trying to do that as a priority given the context of all the stuff that's going on. And if you're not doing that, step back and make sure that's a part of your life.
Talk has the power to save lives. Find out more at imlistening.org.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't take the weekends off, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck over the weekend, don't wait until Monday to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait until Monday to call an attorney. In a wreck, need a check? Call me, Mike Brander. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Mike Brender's at 1-345-1111.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-1509. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
Hear how the best minds in business. Okay, here we go. With the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Klein and Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
Now, more All Things Legal, paid for by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinions shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, all things legal. You can call us at our law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304 on God's Country in Mandeville, 985-624-9697. Albert, speaking, the Pelicans have won 4 out of the last 5. They're 10 and 12. And will the real New Orleans Pelicans stand up? Because they can beat anybody, such as Milwaukee, and they can lose to anybody. So,
well, hey, I must say I'm very impressed and pleased with the play of Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Was not a big fan. He threw the ball away too much. He tried to do too many things. His shot has improved tremendously.
Yeah, it has.
And you know, he's hustling, playing on defense. And I'm wondering, you know, I think he likes playing in New Orleans with Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart, his two.
From the Lakers, Josh Hart. Yeah.
Josh Hart that came from LA with him, and so you know, there was some talk that they might trade him, and so I have a feeling that he stepped up to the plate and is finally, you know, having that determination and desire to you know, get in there and play his best and work on his game. And I tell you, he's cut his turnovers down substantially. I think one of the reasons is they kind of moved into a two guard, so the ball's not standing.
Right. I don't think he's not a one guard. You see, I think one of the things you'll realize about NBA rookies is they come into the league at 19. You know, before they come into the league at 21, 22, 23. So 19, 20, 21, and 22, they're still kids as far as development. And if you find most NBA players who come in at 19 have their greatest improvement between their 5th and 8th year, because the first 3 or 4 years they're just so young and they're just not there yet. And you know, as opposed to
used to be to the game, you get used to a further away 3-point line. You're getting used to, you know, everybody being at least as good as you are. So it's a, you know, it's culture shock. And then all of a sudden you don't have those 1 or 2 players that you can necessarily take advantage of. Everybody can play, and so you got to adjust, and it takes time to adjust.
Well, you remember David West? He came in after a couple of years. He had to do a running, but he played 4 years at Xavier, and he was able to, you know, he came out more of a finished product as far as his maturity, baseball. And that's just not happening now. Most of the top picks are, you know, 18, 19 years old, and there's just a maturation process, which is natural because, I mean, it's amazing that they do as well as they do at that age. But so, you know, that's but you know, they're just they won the last few games at the end, and you know, they probably most of their games have gone down to the end. I kid my wife. I said we could just turn on it about 6 minutes ago. They're going to be tied anyway. And so they've been doing all right. So, but they're 10 and 12, and
I'm hoping that they continue. I think that's been the problem Gentry had for years.
Yeah.
He couldn't close that. He didn't know how to win.
And defense, but shut him. Play a little
He wanted
defense.
to just run and outscore teams, and that wasn't the deal.
No.
But now it looks like they're playing defense. They're sharing the ball. They're kind of getting away from the Brandon Ingram and giving the ball at the end of the game and letting win it for you.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
All right, so that's a wrap. That's a wrap. We'll see you next week on All Things Legal. Be good and be blessed, and we'll see you next week.
Show was a paid-for program. The views and advice expressed